How's it going, peeps? Welcome back to Viva La Coin. I am Viva. I will be your host for today's episode as I break down some of the different art that makes up the Nemonium ecosystem, not only the different phases that we've dropped thus far, but the artists behind them, and really attempting to highlight our idea within Nemonium of supporting artists and their work. So I'll be breaking that down, and I also was able to update my channel to where you should be able to leave comments on this video as opposed to the last one because I had the child protection on it. It's the boomer in me. This is about as technical as I get. I'm just a words guy. So thank you for bearing with me there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below after the video. And just to kind of jump in and give a little context to what we're going to be looking at. So we had our next phase of pieces drop within Nemonium. And Nemo asked if I could cover the individual artists and their works to highlight what they've been doing. And for us, that's the main important thing, because creating a DAO, it does take time. It's not something that will just be created overnight. And a lot of other DAOs or individuals in the space that are attempting to put things out, you see a lot of blue chip art, a lot of familiar projects, a lot of well-known artists that are being supported or bought up for the holdings of those DAOs. But we want to take it in a different direction and support new artists, upcoming artists, individuals that might not have a voice. And Nemo not only highlighted that in one of the most recent announcements where there was a whole paragraph about helping artists and being able to build them up and to show community support and by extension thrive as a community for doing so. But we even have a tab within Nemonium that highlights each of the artists that we're going to be covering today. There are a couple individuals that have additional phases already created that I'm not going to be covering simply because they either weren't revealed yet, they weren't announced yet, and I don't want to spoil anything for the community or anything that they're working on. So as we go through this, I'm going to try and be as transparent as possible on what each functional item is and why it's a part of Nemonium. And I'm going to start with Leaf. So Leaf Jerky created one of the 6 skull DAO piece tokens or art pieces that we just dropped, not this Friday, but one Friday prior, so about 10 days ago. And in order to highlight the art, I want to be able to play it. You may not be able to hear the music behind that. It's super loud in my headphones, but the art in and of itself is incredible. And Leaf Jerky actually did 2 different skulls for this particular phase drop. This is the other one as well. Has its own music in it. Both incredible pieces. There are a ton of detail behind them. But this is what you're going to see from different artists within Nemonium. People wouldn't necessarily be able to just go out and know who these individuals are compared to something like Spacebuds or something like Claymates that you see different DAOs purchasing. Now, with each of these pieces that I'm going to be highlighting, a Nemonium paper is attached to each one. And all that is just being transparent again for everyone within the community. And that's what we believe in as we build this. So each one will read, in order to work alongside and for this incredible community, the Nemonium team wants to ensure that you have a clear understanding of the developmental stage we are currently in to protect not only our team as we build, but you as you invest in your future. Without your trust in Nemonium, working to complete this ecosystem would be an impossibility. This DAO piece functions as a gamified version until all legal parameters are met and all legal rights are fulfilled. By typing yes, you acknowledge this and that Nemonium is not responsible for loss or guaranteeing any profit. At this moment in time, no DAO functions are as advertised. Until Nemonium can deliver on this promise, we will never misrepresent ourselves as a fully functioning DAO. We're working day and night to ensure that we succeed in this venture. If you believe in Nemonium, proceed. So that was during the mint that came up in our website. So it would highlight, everyone would know exactly what they were purchasing and it wouldn't mislead, so that individuals, as they're expecting a DAO to be able to enter and exit and have liquidity, those are things that the team is working on consistently, and throughout these phases, you're going to see that all come together. Now, the next artist that I wanted to highlight is S-Slugs, or the Voyager. Does incredible work and creates what are known as moon jars. So these pieces were a little bit more limited than some of the other ones that we dropped. There was 150 of each originally available. And in order to get the full effect, you can play the video, a lot of cool music behind it, 3D art, they revolve. And I'm going to include the artist information in every single one of these great Twitter threads. I'm going to include that all in the video as we go through. I'm going to turn the sound off on this one just to give you a little bit more of an up-close view of the artwork itself. I have a ton of tabs open and a lot of these pieces move and have music, so I didn't want to overload or have it kind of glitch out on me. But just to highlight again, here's another incredible artist that I myself, prior to this, was unaware of their work, and now we have the opportunity to let them not only show off their talent to the community in general within Nemonium and in CNFT, but hopefully we can build them up and each other up based on their pieces and make them to be something useful that will provide value to everyone involved. Now for the fourth piece, this was actually a combo piece between Nemonium and Monk. So you have more Web3 enthusiasts, but they're 3D artists. They are game developers. Monk is a musician, actually created the music behind this piece. And you can see, even in the detail, there are a ton of different aspects to what they've created. And that includes our phase 2 piece with fauna that will be coming up next. You'll even be able to see that detail in the background there. So again, work that you wouldn't necessarily know as far as like a blue chip CNFT piece, but every single one was crafted with effort and intention behind it from those artists. And again, all of their information is actually broken down under each piece. So if you have this in your wallet or you go and find it on Pool PM, you'll be able to see links to their Twitters, the artist information, and so on as well. So it makes it a little bit more interactive to be able to track down the artists that created the pieces. Now, the phase or the skull number 5 would be Lit Bits, and this one is really cool. It isn't a moving piece, but instead the skull itself has graffiti all over it, created from their side. Nemo reached out to them and asked them to be a part of this as well. And one thing that I wanted to clarify again, because I think it is important, Nemo paid the artist initially. So instead of having the artist be stuck to where they couldn't get paid for their work, or you see plenty of projects rug pull or start slow, Nemo was very big on wanting the artists to be paid for their work up front so that we can focus on building all the value after the fact. But protecting and taking care of the artist is always front of mind for him. So Penny Dents created our not the Launchpad token, the actual currency token. So that is the one, if you have been on Twitter at all to see that spinning, this is what it looks like. So it's a translucent glass token, and usually when you see just a currency token, they're not as in depth or have that type of art, and they wanted to do something special. And he also created the moving skull on our website. So whether it was when our faucet was open for the skull token or when we went in to complete the main phase 1 with the drop of those 6 different pieces, Penny created this skull, and it's interactive there as well. And I'll share an article in the description of the video if you want to check it out. He actually wrote an article on Medium and broke down what it's like creating for Nemonium. So I found it very insightful, and I work with Nemo all day. So just to be able to see a different perspective from the art, from the artists, it was something that I didn't really have a window into. And I've reached out to a couple different artists. I heard back from Monk and some of the other artists whose work has yet to be revealed. And everyone is super thankful for the opportunity to be able to show off the work that they've done. And it's just really cool to watch unfold. Now, Lily worked on the Launchpad token with Nemonium. So I highlighted him earlier for doing the phase 4 piece that spun with the music at the desk. So he also worked on our Launchpad token, which there will eventually be 13,000 of these. And whether it is used as a launchpad for different projects, or if it's used as a whitelist token, you'll have the ability to do different things with this or the other Skull currency token as we develop this ecosystem. So Lily, who also has her own project over on OpenSea and works on Ethereum, came in to develop this token as well. So really, you have art in multiple different realms of the ecosystem, not just the DAO pieces, not just the Launchpad token, but all of these artists are coming together to build something that's just not only a DAO, not only buying other blue chip art that everyone is already aware of, but all of these artists are coming together to create something new and all-encompassing that aims to be a front-to-back closed ecosystem and self-sustaining from there. So just to watch that effort come to fruition over time, it's a pretty incredible experience. Now, coming up in phase 2, and I can reveal this because it's already been announced, but Fauna created our phase 2 pieces that are all unique one-of-ones, and that will be announced when that's going to drop and what the parameters are. So the OG skulls, those 75 skulls are whitelisted, and then we're working with the Dead Pixel community, as well as having an additional way to get it if you have a Launchpad or whitelist token. So if you're interested in that, or if you're in the Nemonium community, make sure to check the announcements and check the breakdowns of what is to come, because this is all going to come full circle, and it will be a little bit easier or more simplistic to explain once all the different pieces are out, but it has to be done this way, or else if we just launch all the pieces and raise Cardano to go buy other people's blue chip art, then there wouldn't be any difference between us and some of the other DAOs that already exist. So we appreciate everyone's patience there, and I'm really excited for this. I've loved Fauna's work all the way back when middle of last year I saw him creating the 3D pixels that you see shared all over the CNFT Twitter space. His work's incredible, so I'm more than thrilled to have him as a part of the team in creating there. And one last little sneak peek of what's going on. This was just revealed yesterday. Another artist that I was recently unfamiliar with in Siberia CNFT. So that would then fall under Atom of God, which is just Shrink over on Twitter, and I'll include all of their information as well. But it's really interesting to see all these different artists start to come together to create something that I believe just showcases how talented people are, and you see a lot of conversations pop up about the talent that the artists have over on Ethereum and comparing a lot of things to CNFT. And if we can bridge that gap and we can provide opportunities to people with incredible talent to showcase that within Nemonium, then I think that that is a phenomenal thing to do. And as I close this video out, I would just say the comments are open. You can always leave a comment down there and ask any questions. I would advise, if you're in the community, be a part of the conversation. Talk to everyone involved. Nemo is super responsive. I'm responsive. JT or any of the other mods, they would love to entertain any conversation, any feedback. And it's really been incredible to see the way that the community has come together over the course of time. And I don't think this would have been possible if you were only putting value first, if you were only buying other people's blue chip art, or if you were only looking for what X percentage you're going to get back from these different pieces. I don't think it works. I think it's changing the idea of where that value comes from, whether it is just as an individual holding individual pieces or a collective of people buying blue chip art that only raises the worth of what that individual is holding if they can exit. In this case, you're building value in a community, and by extension, that community value and what we can build and who we can support should come back and pay dividends if we do this correctly. So I just want to say thank you to everyone else involved, and hopefully my outro will be a little smoother than my last video where I awkwardly stared at the camera getting back to filming for an extra 5 seconds. But I appreciate you so much for watching me break this down. I hope that the sound came through on the music pieces. I know it was a little bit not as loud when I tested it out before. It's coming through loud on my headphones, but I would highly recommend checking out the artists that I include their information within this video. Go find those pieces on PulPM, listen to the music, look at the art. It's all incredible work. I appreciate all of them. I appreciate all of you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day.